Yo, what's up, guys? So this title is insane. This is a branded Despia Dogmatika Bis Spriggans deck. I had to write that down because it's so insane. So we're gonna be checking out some of the brand new Yu-Gi-Oh cards for a lot of these archetypes. Basically, they just got a bunch of support. I'll go ahead and pause briefly because some of the cards may have like a question because some of them are obviously newer cards, and I'll go ahead and pause and explain what some of these newer cards do. So Bis is gonna be able to add a brand new card called the Branded E2. So what the heck does the Branded E2 do? Well, I have it on my other screen over here, so I'll drag it over. So this effect over here allows it so during either player's turn, you can immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon using monsters you control as material, including a dragon monster. You can only use this effect of Branded E2 once per turn, and then while you control a bestial monster, any monster sent to your opponent's graveyard because they tribute it for a ritual summon or use it as material for a fusion, synchro, or link summon is banished instead. So kind of got that Macrocosmos effect. And then we're going to see another new card come out that's very good. Now, this next new card, I mean, this card I think is just a little bit OP. So this is Blazing Branded King. So what the heck does this card do? So what this card does is lets you choose a fusion monster you control that mentions Fallen of Albaz as material. You get to negate the effects of all other face-up cards currently on the field until the end of this turn. So basically, it's like a skill drain. And then during the end phase, if a fusion monster was sent to your graveyard this turn, you can add this card from your graveyard back to your hand. So you can keep on negating everything when you want to. I mean, it's a double-sided skill drain essentially, but it's all other face-up cards currently. So you still kind of can still use some certain things, but the fact that it reoccurs as long as the fusion goes to the graveyard, because usually what happens in this deck is you make fusions, your opponent gets rid of them, then you just add this card back, so you can recycle the card. Very, very good stuff indeed. So let's go ahead and now continue the play now that we know these two cards. So he's going to go up against a Sky Striker. So this is Ash, so shouts to Ash for their build. I mean, it makes sense, right, with the username. So he's going to activate this, and since this effect was already negated, he's just going to be like, well, I'm just going to negate all the other effects of everything else. So he's going to negate the effect of Hayate. So he's going to now go for the Shark Cannon, now go for the Engage, go for Ray, go into Zeke. So he's going to go and banish the Ice Blade, and he's going to be able to get rid of that card as well. And then Kagari going to go ahead and search out an additional card. Engage activated once again. He's got the multi-roll activated and double backer. He's got Anchor. The red linkage won't really matter because once he activates the other card, he won't be able to access. But he tries to get the effect of something. He's going to now activate Ash, so he's not going to get that effect of Ash Dragon. And it's going to go ahead and pass, and now everything's not negated anymore because this card is used. But if this card did hit the graveyard, he'd be able to re-add that card back to his hand, but will he need it? So he activates Widow Anchor, and the thing with Sky Strikers is obviously they need to have nothing in their main monster zone in order for them to be good. So if they've only got one more back row, I mean, they've got like maybe one more disruption, depending on the hand traps. So now we're going to see another new card come out very soon. So he goes for Blazing our Cartesia over here. He's going to activate the effect of Spriggan's Kit. Go ahead and search out a Paradise Branded. It's Paradise Branded activated. He's going to activate the other effect. He's going to go ahead and now make the Sprint the Iron Dash Dragon over here. And now we're going to see another newer card. So again, this is another one of those cards where it's got a new effect and it just has like an error in the code. So Guiding Quem, the Virtuous, is a brand new card and it's really, really good. So if it's normal or special, you get to basically dump a card. It's like almost like a Foolish, but it also includes spells. So you can send one Fallen of Albaz or one card that mentions it from your deck to the graveyard. And if a card leaves the field or extra, except during the damage type, you can target one Fallen Albaz or one monster that mentions it in your graveyard and special summon it. So it's a Foolish when it's normal or special, and on top of that, if something leaves the extra deck, you just get to special summon. Like, it just does honestly too much. Quem is just like too good in my opinion. It doesn't need all those effects. Now we're seeing another brand new card, the Lilith over here. Lulu Wall Lilith. These names, man. Crazy. But this is a new synchro, so it's a level 12, and its effects are once per turn. If a card leaves either extra deck, except during the damage step, you can make all face-up monsters you currently control gain 500 attack. It's mediocre, but the good part of the effect is then you can negate the effects of one face-up card on the field until the end of this turn. And then during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was sent there that turn, you get to special one light spellcaster monster whose attack equals its own defense from your hand or deck. And then you can only use its effect event once per. So being able to special on whatever you want, potentially, depending on what you're going for with the grave for targets, yeah, that could be pretty dang good. So he's going to go for Kit. He's making Merrymaker over here, and then he's going to activate that effect. Double card, and he's going to overlay it for Sargas. Sargas is an OCG card at the moment, but its effect is actually pretty good. It's really utilized by having the other effect of you can target one card in the field and pop it if a material is detached from a monster on the field. So that's a really good effect. And now he's going to go ahead and search out. So he's going to go and stop that effect. And then on top of that, he's searching out. This is a kind of a newer card. I don't think I've talked about it, but this is Tally-Ho Spriggans. So this card, I think, is a little bit too good. So when you activate it, you detach 3 materials from monsters you control. It's up to. Then you get to add 1 Spriggan monster from your deck to your hand. And if you attach materials at activation, you can special summon that many Spriggan monsters from your hand or graveyard. So you're going to bring back everything. This deck is just so crazy. This is like one of those big brain decks where it's not going to be super easy to follow along, getting out double monsters over here, and then searching out and getting all the effects. Then because he detached, he's going to be able to pop a card. He pops the last back row because, well, usually you got to have no monsters or main monster zone. So I think maybe the Sky Striker player activated it too early, but maybe it didn't matter because at the end of the day, he's just going to be able to just go for a game at this point. So he's going to go for Ray, but we're to like, there's not much you can do in this situation. He still has his Brand Etude face up as well, so you can go for other players. There's actually another newer Synchro card, but the guy's just like, dude, I had enough. He didn't want none of the heat from the Ash Dragon. So now that you guys have seen it, I want to give you a deck profile from Ash. It's kind of a complex deck. There are a few other newer cards that I didn't get to talk about that are OCG. The one I wanted to really highlight here is the Bystial Dissipator. So I know this deck profile is crazy. It is an OCG one. I mean, obviously you can play on the TCG. There's just like Maxi is the difference here. But one of the newer cards that I did want to go over is another newer card called Bystial Dissipator. It's actually really good. So it is 1 tuner and 1 non-tuner dragon. It's a level 10 synchro. It says you get to target 1 banished light or dark monster, special summon it to your field. And when your opponent activates a monster effect, as a quick effect, you get to target one of your banished cards, or well, it's just one banished card. It could be both. Shuffle it into the deck. Then if you were that card's owner, you get to destroy that monster. If your opponent was, negate the activated effect. You can only use each effective Bystial Dissipator once per turn. So that's the other card over here. I'll go ahead and mouse over some of the newer cards just in case you want them as kind of a highlight. We went over like the more important ones. I think Lindworm is insane. I didn't get to go over this effect. It wasn't made during the gameplay, but I feel like this card is insane. So it's Fallen of Albaz and +1 Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monster. And when a Fusion, Synchro, Exceeds, or Link monster is activated as a quick effect, you get to negate the effect. Then you can turn 1 monster on the field to the hand. That is not just yours, that's your opponent. So you have to negate the effect and then bounce something else back. That is insane. And then on top of that, because it's got to be better now, right? If this card is in your graveyard as a quick effect, you can target 1 Fallen of Albaz in your graveyard. If both are still in your graveyard, special summon either that monster or this card. If you do, banish the other. That is so good. Just being able to reoccur, just keep on bringing it back, negate effect, and then bounce another one. Its effects are once per turn, but it's still like, it's one of those annoying cards where it's gonna keep coming back. But yeah, that's another card that I felt like was important to mention. There is also a Grand Guignol, the final dragon, but its effect is if it's fusion summon, you get to send a level 6 or higher light or dark monster from your deck or extra to the graveyard. And if a monster is special summoned by an opponent's activated monster effect, except during damage step, you banish this from your field or graveyard to special summon Dogmatica monster from your deck. So it's like they get a card, you get a card too. But the other card is Aluber. This one over here has the effect where its name becomes Fallen of Albaz while it's in the graveyard or on the field. And then on top of that, if this card is normal summon, it's kind of like a Snatch Steal, but it's like specifically for dragons. So I guess like the mirror matchups maybe can be a little bit better, or if you're playing against dragons. So you get to send this card to the, well, you discard 1 card, then target a dragon monster your opponent controls or in their graveyard. You get to either send this card to the graveyard and you get to take control of it, or you send this card to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon that monster from the graveyard to your field. So you can take control over it. It's an okay card as well. But yeah, I just moused over these ones. Those are the most important ones. And now I'll mouse over the rest of the deck profile just in case anyone wanted to kind of build it. But shoutouts to Ash for their build. I thought it was interesting to see all of the mix-ups in one deck, and they just kept on comboing. Is it going to be Brick City? I mean, the deck does have a lot of consistency with like almost every card will search out and give you some sort of advantage at the end of the day. But I just moved these cards over here and I'll resort it just because I wanted to kind of highlight some of the newer cards for the video, just in case some of the players have not maybe seen some of these cards. This one we're going to put in there. And then here's like the sorted version of it. So we'll go ahead and mouse over just in case anyone wants to go ahead and build the deck yourself. But let me know, guys, what you think of it. Like I said, the name is crazy. A branded Despia Dogmatica Byst Spriggan deck. I mean, there's technically Therons in here, but like it's like everyone plays that Theron card, right? But for the most part, it is just crazy of a mix-up. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here and you want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh decks in the future with brand new cards gameplay, hit subscribe, turn the bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and I'm out. Peace.